take a look here. The Athletic this week, Scott Dochterman, was asked to put together a list of the top 100 rivalries in college football, and he used a series of metrics and criteria, you know, how many times they've played, how many times the team's been ranked, blah, 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 blah. Here were the top 10 rivalries that he came up with. Michigan, Ohio State, number 1. Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl, number 2. Oklahoma, Texas, number 3. Army, Navy, 4th. USC, Notre Dame, which could be going away, 5th. Nebraska, Oklahoma, which already has gone away, 6th. Miami, Florida State, 7. Ohio State, Penn State, which is a very recent rivalry.
Yeah.
Florida, Florida State. Minnesota, Wisconsin, the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe, I believe that one is. There's your top 10. So what did he do with Tennessee on this top 100 list? Where did they pop up? Number 11. Just outside the top 10 was the third Saturday in October, Tennessee, Alabama. Number 36 was Florida, Tennessee, like Ohio State, Penn State. That one's only about 30 years old. Same with Georgia. That ranked number 53 on his list. Then Tennessee, Kentucky was number 75. Tennessee, Vanderbilt was number 80. Will West, from a national perspective, should Alabama, Tennessee have been in that top 10 list ahead of one of those others?
Not nationally. It means a lot to everyone in East Tennessee, but I don't think nationally, because everyone looks at Alabama's natural rival as being Auburn because of how crazy the Iron Bowl is, right? So I think nationally, the Tennessee-Alabama game's a huge deal here. I don't think it's that big of a deal if you live in Boise, Idaho, or if you live in Portland, Oregon, or wherever it might be that you live. Good game, very good game. You look forward to it. 11's fine. No, 11's fine. I don't know that I'm moving it up because it isn't a heated, hated rivalry that people around the nation talk about.
But Minnesota, Wisconsin.
I don't think that one
that's
should
what I
have
was
been
going to
there.
say.
That's where I'm going.
But that one also,
You're right.
you know,
That one has no
two
business
things.
being number 10. I'm
It
sorry,
does not.
Wisconsin has no business in Minnesota. You know,
It
that
does
has no
not.
business being number 10.
The criteria seems all over the place to me because you've got Nebraska, Oklahoma that's not even played anymore at number 6, and if we're worried about it being a relic of the past, that's the argument against Tennessee, Alabama, right? It's not been as
at least they're still
meaningful
playing.
on a national level in recent years
And
until
it's been split the last 4 years.
yeah. So
And you gave Ohio State, Penn State, which was a secondary rivalry,
Right.
a space in the top 10
yeah.
as well.
right, yes.
So I mean, I see Auburn, Georgia being a kind of a noteworthy omission on that list too. So I think Tennessee, Alabama,
Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tennessee, Alabama belongs on that list based on that top
the top
10.
10?
I think they're more deserving than a couple on that list.
Exactly.
I would say toward the bottom, but I think they belong in that top 10.
Okay, Army, Navy. I'll be the schmuck. It's like Harvard, Yale. I mean, is that on the? It probably was on the list. I didn't look,
Yeah.
but it's just not to that level anymore, in my opinion.
Oh, you mean it was
People
Harvard,
watch it.
Yale? Harvard, Yale was not. I don't
No,
think-
it
yeah.
wasn't in the
I don't
top
think
100
so.
anywhere. Well, that might
Well,
have
actually, I
been-
didn't look at the top 100, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It's not in the top 10, but
Yeah.
it might have made the top 100.
Yeah.
Or he might have just didn't. No, he did Smiths, yes. Anyway, Army, Navy's just, if this were the 1940s and those were national powers, okay.
Yeah.
Neither of those teams is going to compete for a championship, the national championship anymore, or a playoff spot, really. So to me, I don't want to be harsh about it. It could be top 10, but boy, number 4?
But what it stands for, people like watching that game that don't have any interest in Army and Navy. I think it has national appeal enough that I've got no problem with that. Some people would put it 2 or 3 on that list.
Yeah, they have like a Radio Row for the Army-Navy game where people show up like it's the Super Bowl and cover that event all week long. It is
Which,
a big...
I know, and I just find that I don't know of any.
You just say they shouldn't do
I
that.
guess I guess I have no friends that sit around. And it's like, hey man, you coming over to watch Army Navy?
Well, here's my thing on Tennessee, Alabama, though. People smoke cigars after it now. That's people caught on with what was the players and coaches tradition for years, and the game actually has national credibility again. It was a top 6 matchup 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now. So it checks all the boxes now that Tennessee and Alabama are back being competitive again. I think it's a great rivalry.
Well, it's older and longer than the Auburn rivalry.
Yeah.
Alabama refused to play Auburn for years. It was interesting. Nick Saban recently on ESPN was talking about the third Saturday in October. He said, "This is Alabama's rivalry.
Yep.
This is the
Exactly.
rival.
I was gonna
Is
mention that.
Tennessee not? He didn't say not Auburn, but the one that he said we care is Tennessee." And I just wondered, is that because you owned Tennessee more than
Right.
you lost
For
some to
all those
Auburn?
years.
Is that why you're saying, "Oh yeah, Tennessee's more important"?
Well, Saban said, I have a problem getting my team fired up to play Auburn. I don't have a problem getting Alabama fired up to play Tennessee. So he said, that's our rival. So you can take that for what it's worth.
Well, I would say Paul Fomba made an entire career just getting Auburn and Alabama fans to call a show and cut promos on each other.
Yeah.
But I think the one part of it is I don't know that the Alabama rivalry has as much heat as it did when I was growing up, because there are everybody younger than me. Florida's the number one rival. So that's why I think that maybe I wouldn't put it in the top 10 compared to the cocktail party and
Well,
some other ones
interestingly,
that are
we
there.
did this, and I keep throwing to the Sports Source Digital Network, but John Wilkerson, Ollie Lane, and I did this recently where we talked about modern rivals, and Ollie Lane said Alabama
Right.
was number one for him, which surprised me because it had kind of shifted to Florida. It's basically whoever's higher.
Yeah.
10 years ago when Florida was winning national championships in Alabama, or 15 years ago when Meyer was down there before Saban had taken over in Alabama, it would have been Florida was probably your number one rival. It's whoever you can't beat at that moment.
Right.
On the Alabama-Tennessee thing, I will compare it. It is a regional rivalry in the same way that Minnesota-Wisconsin is.
Right.
The difference is you got a lot of national championships between Tennessee and Alabama.
Yep.
More recently than when Murray Warmoth, Tennessee alum, led Minnesota to national titles 50 years ago or 70 years ago. So to me, that would be, if I'm flipping two, Alabama, Tennessee would jump Wisconsin, Minnesota there.
Yeah.
Well, I did an unofficial Facebook poll, and what I found was Alabama is still the biggest rival. Maybe you're right about younger fans.
Facebook is, that skews
but
it.
no, but
It
here's
ain't
the
skewing
thing,
young, man.
Alabama is the biggest rival. Florida is now the most hated. Florida is the one.
In your unofficial, unscientific poll.
Well, it was a little. Yeah, just a
All
little.
right, the check
50
you see now.
responses. 50
Yeah, okay,
responses.
well,
You know
there
what
you
I
go.
think that is? There's some embarrassment about the fact that Tennessee can't win at Florida now,
Yeah.
because Florida's not good now,
Yeah.
and that's Alabama.
You still can't beat 'em down
Everyone's
there.
seen Alabama as kind of the gold standard of college football for about 15 years, and that's changed a little bit the last 2 or 3 years, but it's they've been up at the top. You still can't beat Florida, and they're not very
Plus,
good.
their fans are nice, and then Florida fans are throwing urine on you. You know what I mean? So there's also that part.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, man.
But not Europe.
That's a weird thing.